all, it's an absolute pleasure to speak to you finally in person. I've spoken about you so many times on my radio shows. I've watched your career with fascinations. With fascination, you are clearly one of the rising stars in the world and on the American continent. You have something special. You're like a savant in the ring. Tell me, first of all, how did you first know you had this?
Um, I don't. There's multiple answers to that. My dad would probably tell you. He in my first sparring, he saw that I had it as a little kid. That I just had that natural instinct to fight. As a 5 year old. Another time he would tell you was in the Junior Olympics. I fought this kid that I wasn't supposed to beat, and I beat him. I showed out that day, and I did really good that day. Um, but if I had to answer that question, I think that I think that it would be maybe like the years of 2015, 2016. I fought against grown men at that time. I was like 17, turning 18. And I was still knocking them out. I was still outclassing everyone, and then I was starting to see like the levels, the differences between me and them.
Do you and deeper inside you, obviously that's you knowing the levels of you, that when you're a very young man and you're fighting men, you know that you have the skills, the timing, the coordination, the control of your fear, your nerves, all those things. Deeper beyond that, further in Vergil Ortiz's DNA, is there, and people always get, I love these things because I like people's deep DNA. Is there that Mexican warrior deep in your soul as well, that you feel that when you're in half sleep you can go back, and it's in those hundreds of years, of thousands of years of DNA? Do you feel that?
Honestly, yeah, I was actually thinking about it last night. I do feel it. I do feel like I have that Aztec warrior inside me,
There you go.
and
There you go.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was actually thinking about it last night. I really do feel that I have that, and I feel like that's where I get my ferociousness from my power and all that stuff. It's from the Aztecs back in Mexico.
Yeah, I definitely feel that with you. So I wanted to ask that question, and yet I hear you're a guy who will go and play guitar and piano maybe for 12, 15 hours a week as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I like to do. Music, guitar, it's just another outlet for me, and it lets off some steam. I can express myself in a different way, not just through boxing or whatever. And yeah, that's what I like to do.
Because boxing has its own beauty, as we know. It's a beautiful,
Exactly.
visceral, raw drama, theater, all those things. Human, mano a mano. It's deep, kind of a deep human thing that we all love to watch. People bearing their souls, if you like, physically. But the musical side, it must almost be like an alter ego, because that has its own beauty as well, doesn't it? It can bring stillness or emotion or different things. What I worry about for you, every time you go to the gym, every time you have a fight, do you not worry about your fingers for playing the piano and the guitar?
No, I mean, honestly, I do feel like maybe through some of the small injuries I've got throughout my amateur and pro career that I'm a bit limited to what I can do with the guitar or the piano. But honestly, I make it work. I see these videos of these 4 year olds playing the piano. They can't make that stretch with their small hands, but they still find a way to do it. So I don't have an excuse at this point.
And tell us about the. I hope Gabriel warned you that I would probably go in lots of different directions with the interview, but that when you're, what's your musicality? What are the fields that you like? What's the type of music you like, both with piano and guitar?
I like to play basically everything, to be honest. I mean, obviously I like to play, like heavy metal and all that stuff. That's my area right there. That's what I like to listen to. I like to listen to pop songs, and I'll try to turn it into like a guitar only. I try to do the vocals and I try to do the bass only on the guitar. I'll do the exact same thing with the piano, just like stuff like that. And I'll turn piano songs that I already know how to play on the piano, and I'll transcribe it to a guitar so I can see what it sounds like on the guitar. I mix and match a lot.
So Back in Black, AC/DC must be one of the ones that you like, surely, that album.
Yeah, that was one of the first songs that I tried to learn, to be honest.
And how are you with it?
I just need to get the solo down, and that's pretty much it. I know the rest of the song.
So when you claim the world title and the fight's over and your hands are raised, can we get your gloves off? Can we get a guitar? You know what the Gypsy King does? He sings Bye Bye American Pie and sings these songs in the ring. Can we get a guitar into the ring for Vergil Ortiz to play a little bit of guitar? Come on, that would bring the house down, brother.
Yeah, man, that would actually be that's actually a really good idea. I never even thought about it.
You want to get a better publicist than Gabriel Rivas then, eh?
Hey, he's good. He's good.
I think that would be amazing though, Vergil, wouldn't it? It would be like to be able to show what you can do mano a mano, and then to be able to show what you can do con los manos with the guitar would be just extraordinary. It would go around the world.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good idea. I'd have to look into that.
Or you bring a piano into the ring and you give us a rendition, you know?
Yeah, that'd be really cool too.
Seriously though, on the musical side, just to finish off on that for now, do you have aspirations to do that professionally, to perform, to be in a group, to tour, do anything in that way?
I would like to maybe do some, like with my favorite bands. I would like to go on stage and play their songs. I don't have any aspirations to make my own music. I'm not a very creative person, to be honest. I just can't make up my own stuff. I'll try, but I can't. So I learn other people's stuff, and I get better learning their stuff. So that's how I'm learning. I'm learning stuff that I can't play. Like yesterday, recently, I there's this one song that I could not play for the life of me like 5 years ago. And today I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try it again today because I've gotten a lot better. I got it down. I got it down like really easy. I'm like, dude, I couldn't play that. I can feel myself getting better. Like songs I couldn't play back then, I'm doing them easy now. So I would first I want to get better. I want to get confident in my ability to play. I was scared to play my guitar in a guitar center out loud. I went like a week ago and I'm playing it out loud for everyone to hear, and I felt comfortable in my ability now. So as far as right now, I want to get better, and then I'll be able to show the world what I got.
So more nervous in Guitar Center playing it or
Yeah.
Guitar World than you were walking to the ring, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. I as an older person, as someone that's been around the boxing game a long time and who loves music, let me just urge you to keep that going as well, because you can use your fame in boxing to promote your own music as well. I think it's a great thing. It's great to have more than one gift,
Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. No, it's fascinating. Look, you're 16-0, 16 knockouts, isn't it? Or 16 stoppages.
6, yes.
That's called a perfect record. Maurice Hooker is, I think it's fair to say, you may not think this, but in terms of the standards of the way we cover things, it's like a step up, isn't it?
Yes.
He's held a world title. How important is this moment in your career, age 22, with this unblemished record, to go in there and prove that you can go 12 rounds, or it's a 12 rounder, not a 10 rounder, yeah?
That's a 12 round, yes.
Yeah, that you can, if you have to go 12 rounds, if you have to go into the trenches, he's long, he's got a good jab. I think you'll stop him in the late rounds. That's my prediction. But how important is this moment for you? And have to use a different kind of focus as you reach this moment in your career?
This moment is very important in my career. I would say that this is gonna be the hardest fight in my career. It's gonna be the most meaningful. It's gonna be the fight that opens up all the doors to the world title opportunities like I've always wanted. And it's a really good step up fight. You know, he's no one can really give an excuse that I haven't fought anyone in their prime or that hasn't been a world champion, because Maurice Hooker is all those guys. And you know, he's there to fight. He's not there to lose. You know, he still wants to prove that he can still get a world title at 147. And I'm here to prove that I belong in the top fighters at 147. I'm already a top 10 in some people's list, and I'm very grateful for that. And I'm going to show people what I'm capable of.
And that, of course, on March the 20th on DAZN at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas. You'll have a pretty big crowd there because it's close to home, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's really close.
How many allowed in for that?
I have no idea, but it's gonna. I don't think that it's gonna matter that maybe it's a half capacity or whatever. I think that it's gonna be a full house.
Hooker is, I think I'm right in saying, he's got long punches and they're quite direct. How important is it to show, and you have already many times, to show that movement from the waist and the angles that you create, both from the waist and with your feet, because making angles on this guy is surely the way to beat him.
Yeah, it's very important. I'm not only to show the fans what I got, but not to get hit. You know, that's the main point of boxing, to hit and not get hit. Everyone knows how I fight. I like to come forward and give my shots, but people really don't know that I can also not get hit pretty good too. And I mean, people are gonna see. You know, if I'm gonna really try to show my ability of my defense in that fight.
And presumably as well, look for another spectacular knockout at some point.
Of course, yeah. It's if it comes, the opportunity comes, then I'll take it.
That's the right answer. It is the right answer because you have to wait. If you have to outbox him for 12 rounds, I suppose you will, and you go home happy.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I would love to go to 12 rounds, just so I know that if the time comes, you know, when I'm in a world title, that I'm ready for it.
I talked about the background in your life and your musical interest and perhaps how you soothe yourself away from the rigors of the physicality of the profession, the toughest profession on earth that you've chosen for yourself. Um, uh, Robert Garcia's gym. Yeah. I'm right in thinking that, is Lucas Matisse still there?
I don't think he ever was. I was training with him when I was at Joel's camp.
Okay, but he's been a useful guy to be around. So
Oh yeah,
too Jose Ramirez,
yes.
um, and obviously Mikey Garcia as well.
Hmm.
What have you learned from these guys who have already been world champions? They're all very different, those three. What have you learned from them, and also from Robert?
I've learned, you know, many different stuff from all of them. Mikey, you know, he's taught me not to waste my punches. You know, I've learned a lot from sparring, just from sparring him. I feel like I've really learned a lot. Like it's he's an amazing fighter. He really showed me what my flaws are, and I was able to fix them. And even just sparring him once, or maybe like for a week, I felt myself change as a fighter, like literally change. You know, I was like, okay, you know what, I can't just waste my punches. I can't just waste energy like that. I really have to make every punch count. Every punch has to have a meaning, and that's what I learned from Mikey, from Jose. You know, I've learned that honestly, what I've learned from him is that you like always keep working hard. Jose is the hardest worker that I've ever seen in the gym. You know, he's working all the time, and he's even when he's not in the gym, he's taking care of his body. He's doing a good job. He's a really great example for me. And Robert, he's based, you know, he's my coach, so he's showing me all these little things. It's all the small things, you know, it's the small things that separates a good fighter from a great fighter. And he's showing me these little tricks, these little moves that I should do at a certain time, and you know, just all these things that I can apply to the ring.
What about life advice? Robert is a lovely man and he's a wise man as well as any of us has been around him would ascribe to. Um, what are the wisdoms about what you're going to go through, what you're going through that Robert has passed on to you?
He's really smart in the boxing world. He's been up there in those huge fights with Mayweather and Pacquiao, so he knows his ways around. All the politics and all that stuff. He hasn't had to do it with me yet, but I think it was a fight with Joshua Franco and Maloney. They were trying to screw Josh out of that fight, and they were taking a long time with the scorecards. And he called out one of the top rank officials or someone on the California or Nevada. I think it was Nevada. The commission. He called him out because he knew that they were gonna try to do. He said, "Hey, don't do that. Don't do that to us." And he's smart. I would never would have thought of that. I never would have noticed it at all. So he's really smart. Like I said, he hasn't had to do it with me yet. But Robert's a really smart coach, and I'm grateful to have him in my corner.
So when Josh Taylor, the Scotsman, goes into the ring with Jose Ramirez for the undisputed title, are those belts coming back to Scotland or are they staying over there?
Oh, they're staying over here.
You've got to say that. You've got to say that, though.
Yeah, but I mean it. I mean it. He's Jose. He works too hard. He hits hard. He's gonna outwork him.
Is that how you see him winning it, on points and outworking him then?
Yeah, I saw how Josh Taylor handled Baranchik. Baranchik's a really wild fighter. He doesn't, like I said about having your punches having meaning. A lot of his punches, he just threw. He looked wild, and Josh looked like he had a hard time. But Jose, he's smarter than that. He has the same relentlessness, if not more. And I think that he'll be able to beat Josh Taylor.
It's a fight I'm really looking forward to. You?
I am too. Yes.
Yeah, because they're both kind of young men. They're still young men to me at their peak of their powers, and it truly is for the undisputed crown, in my view. Truly, truly, they're head and shoulders above everyone else in the division.
Exactly. Yeah. I can't wait for that fight.
Finally, are you going to fight Terence Crawford? I've been reading that you may face Terence Crawford in 2021. Is that true or not?
You know what? It's not even really up to me. It's up to him if he wants to take the fight. If any world champion comes up to me and offers me the fight, I'm going to take it. So, being that Maurice Hooker happens to be Terence Crawford's teammate, they spar and all that stuff. I know he's going to be at the fight. I don't see why not. Let's make the fight happen.
Is there any sense that might be rushing you, or do you genuinely feel ready?
I feel ready, I don't feel like anyone at my age at this point of the career would take the fight. I believe that I'm ready for this. That this is what I've been wanting. I'm not going to turn down a world title opportunity for anything.
Has that ambition to be welterweight world champion, presumably after that you take it on and you want to unify the entire division and fight Errol Spence, maybe Manny Pacquiao, or whoever else is around at the time?
Of course. Yeah, I would love to do that. And like I said, I'm going to fight anyone. I'm pretty sure if I get a world title, they're gonna start coming to me now. I'm not gonna have to worry about chasing them anymore. So I think those fights will be made easier after that.
You're 22, aren't you?
Yes.
Is being in boxing something you don't want to do for a very long time? Then do you have aims within a certain time frame, and then you're going to become a world famous rock star and all of that kind of stuff, or heavy metal star?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I definitely want to be in boxing. I don't want to be in it past 35. I'm going to just throw that number out there. I think that's a very safe number. It's once you get past that, you start declining. I'm not sure what age you start declining. Maybe even like 31 or 32. But I'll still be in my 30s and I'll still be in boxing. I'll definitely be at the top of my game at the time. And I mean, honestly, we'll just see from there. That's around 10 years ahead into the future. We can't really say for sure, but I definitely want to be boxing for a long time.
Well, it's 9:30 in the morning there on a Monday where you are now. You're presumably, are you in are you in the hometown?
I'm in Riverside, California.
Okay. Oh, in camp.
Yes.
So just tell us finally what you're off to do now. Have you had breakfast already? Have you had a run? What are you off to do now?
I just ate breakfast right now. Yeah, I just ate, and I'm gonna do some more interviews, and then if I have time, I'm gonna run right before the gym because running wakes me up, and then I'm gonna go to the gym, get out the gym, eat, rest for like an hour, go back into the gym, and then I'll have the rest of the day to myself, which is like 3 hours or so.
Will you be beating up a bag with a poster of Maurice Hooker on it today or not?
Not today, no.
Vergil, it's an absolute pleasure. Encantado de verte. It was an absolute pleasure to see you and speak to you live for the first time on a Zoom. Thanks so much, brother, and good luck on March the 20th against Maurice Hooker.
Thank you. I enjoyed this interview. Thank you.
Cheers, brother. Thanks very much.
No problem.
Cheers.